The Redmi family has found three new members, Redmi K70, K70 Pro and K70E. Hi guys, welcome to your channel InfiniTech. In this video, we are going to have a review about K70 series. Let's go. The Redmi K70 is the first phone which is the introducer of the series, and it's based off the work. And the rest of them look similar to the Redmi K70. In these phones and the new Xiaomi phones, there is no more MIUI, and they come with HyperOS. And even Xiaomi wants to give an update for all phones that will completely remove MIUI. The weight of Redmi K70 is approximately 209 grams and it's available in black, silver, green and purple colors. It has a 6.67-inch screen with a 120Hz refresh rate AMOLED panel. Due to the small margins of the screen, almost 90% of the front frame is covered by screen. One of the most important features of these phones is their brightness. The peak brightness of this phone is 4000 nits. Xiaomi is increasing this number with every phone it releases. For example, the Xiaomi 14 Pro had a brightness of 3000 nits, but now we have reached the K70 which has a brightness of 4000 nits, and that's amazing. Of course, this number is obtained when you're under the sunlight, but in general, it has the record of the brightest screen in the world. It supports HDR10+, and this screen also supports Dolby Vision. In terms of hardware, we are dealing with valuable phones because they have a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 on them, which one that most of the flagship phones in the market have now. And they also have Adreno 740 graphics processor, so we expect it to perform well in terms of graphics. In terms of internal storage and RAM, there are different versions, so be sure to be careful when buying. We have a 256 and 12, 256 and 16, 512 and 16, and 1TB with 16GB of RAM. In terms of camera layout, it's very simple and we can see it on many phones. There are 3 lenses on the back frame, 50MP main lens, 8MP ultra-wide lens, and a 2MP micro lens, and the selfie camera is 16MP. This phone can also record videos with 8K quality. In the battery section, we have a 5000 mAh battery that supports 120W fast charging, but unfortunately it doesn't have a wireless charger. The fingerprint sensor is on the screen and there is no 3.5mm jack. Now let's go to the Pro version. In terms of appearance, there is no difference from the normal version, and it only has a yellow color that you can buy it if you want. Everything we said about K70 screen also applies to K70 Pro. A 6.67-inch screen, 120Hz refresh rate, 4000 nits of brightness, and AMOLED panel. But the main difference between these two devices is in the hardware section. The K70 Pro has the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3 chipset, which is actually the most powerful smartphone chipset in the world. It has Adreno 750 GPU, and in terms of internal storage and RAM, it's completely similar to K70, but 1TB version has 24GB of RAM. There are also good differences in the camera section. We have a 50MP main lens, a 12MP ultra-wide lens, and a 50MP telephoto lens. Yes, they put a telephoto lens instead of macro, and it does double optical zoom. But the selfie camera is 16MP too. It has a 5000 mAh battery, and it supports 120W fast charging, but it doesn't support wireless charging. Okay, let's go to the latest version. Redmi K70E, the one that is somehow considered the cheapest version. The body of the E version is completely made of plastic and not made of glass like previous ones, so it weighs less. In terms of the screen, we have a 6.67-inch 120Hz screen, but the resolution is lower and the peak of brightness is 1800 nits. In terms of hardware, the two previous phones were stronger than this version, and it has weaker hardware because of the lower price. It has MediaTek 8300 with Mali 615 GPU. In terms of internal storage and RAM, we have some different versions: 256 and 12GB of RAM, 512 and 12GB of RAM, and 1TB with 16GB of RAM. In camera section, we have a 64MP main lens, 8MP ultra-wide lens, and a 2MP micro lens with 16MP selfie camera, but it only supports 4K video recording. In the battery section, the story is different, and the K70E battery is 5500 mAh, but on the other hand, it has a 90W fast charge. Of course, I don't know how much effect this extra 500 mAh will have, but it may become clear in use. Yo guys, if you want to know about the previous K series, K60 Ultra, be sure to watch this video on the screen and don't forget to subscribe.